Pressure. Carrie, you know stress causes all kinds of health problems.
Oh, Shani.
Yes, and I'm concerned about your physical, your mental, and your financial wellness.
Right now, work is so much stress.
And stress can contribute to high blood pressure, to anxiety, to depression. You need to take regular breaks. You can check out the Sagicor Wellness Hub at sagicor.com for all tips on wellness. Do it for you.
Good morning. Yes, do it for you. My name is Novia MacDonald White, and welcome to the second in a three-part series lifestyle webinar, Rock Fab Living, powered, of course, by Sagicor and Nestle. Thank you very much, Sagicor and Nestle. Nestle, good food, good life. And of course, we started part one. We focused on us because let's not get it twisted, it's always all about us. So the skin, the hair, the nails, the makeup. Now we've got that ready, we have to contemplate how we're going to spend the festive season, because we're counting down to the festive season. And it's just fabulous. The weather's nice and cool, the flowers are gorgeous. We're all gorgeous, and we have the best, as usual, the absolute best panelists lined up for you. Allow me to introduce you to Angelie Martin Spencer, Principal Angelie Spencer Home. That's Ash. Aisha Panton, Principal Puss Backfoot. Shakiba Hines, Managing Director, Shakima Hines Events and Concierge Limited, and also a regular contributor to Tuesday Style. Tuesday Rise and Style with Tuesday Style. Ryan Green is a butler at Sandals South Coast. We'll get back to that later. Guy Stewart III is the chairman of Half Moon Hotel. We'll definitely get back to him later. And Max Patchen is in charge he's the Director of Operations at Island Roots. Fab Living, Rock Fab Living. But, you know, the kitchen is where all cultures meet. And the kitchen is where we start our journey today. So without further ado, welcome Angelie Martin Spencer, Principal Angelie Spencer Homes. Ash.
Hey Novia, how are you?
Well, you know, as always, I give thanks. It's Rock Fab Living, so reason to hope. And you know, at the end of it all, between Ryan, Guy, and Max, I'm going to be living my best life ever. So, Angelie, I'm definitely in my element, and you are going to make us even more jealous of your days and all the things that you've been doing as you take us through. We're going to press play now with our fabulous team from Phase 3. We're going to press play and check out a fabulous kitchen created by Ash.
Welcome to my latest kitchen design. Come on in. Has got to be one of my absolute favorite kitchens that I've done. I've actually realized that I really and truly love kitchens. It's probably because I'm a cook myself and I use my kitchen so much that I'm able to appreciate the beauty and efficiency of a really good kitchen. So these clients actually entertain quite a bit, and they love to host in the space. There's a lot of family and friends who gather in their home and gather in the kitchen, and so I had to create a space that was just perfect for that reason. So with the holidays approaching, Thanksgiving for them, Christmas, New Year's, and just all year round, always celebrating life and love, we created this beautiful, beautiful space. So the first thing that you must remember when creating a kitchen is to try to always try to maintain a very functional and practical work triangle. So the space between the sink, the refrigerator, and the stove need to be very efficient and allow for you to properly flow within the kitchen. So if you have a beautiful kitchen space like this, it's not only functional, but it's very practical for you to also entertain in it. You have a beautiful cabinet space, counter space, you have a wonderful island that you can incorporate for the service, for serving food, for serving people, for even chucking the kids in here so that they can eat while the adults are at the table. But the beauty about it is that it is practical, it is functional, and most importantly, it is impeccably stylish. And welcome to the dining room. So this beautiful dining room I created simply because we had a love of black and white. And so style was very important for this client who entertains a lot. And she had this beautiful set existing that was only able to seat 6 persons because the table was so small. So I was able to expand the table to incorporate all 8 of her chairs in this wonderful space so that there's a place for everyone at the table. The black and white stripe that you see here is actually the start of the entire design process. We wanted beautiful black and white striped chairs, and so that dictated what you see everywhere in this dining room, but also how we decorated the kitchen. And it's been such a beautiful complementary cohesion of just textures and the beautiful classic black and white patterns, and I love this space. But the great thing is that you can actually plate in the kitchen and you just come across and serve in the dining room. Even if you wanted to have a service where people can serve themselves, this dining room actually still allows for that, because there's this beautiful sideboard that's here that persons can serve themselves. You can probably use it as a bar, and if you actually, just for entertaining purposes, you have enough space like under a window that you could actually set up an additional space for persons to serve themselves with like a buffet service. So in entertaining, you have to just think about how this space is going to serve you, how it's going to serve your family, how it's going to serve your friends. And as practical and functional as the spaces should be, we feel that they should absolutely be 100% equally beautiful.
Well, I did leave my kitchen this morning. I'm not too sure if I'm going to return to that one. Angeli, what else would you like to add? I mean, Rock Fab Living Lifestyle Webinar, we've started in the kitchen with that absolutely fabulous kitchen.
I think, truthfully, I found that what people need to do more of is actually design their homes from the inside out. I come up on a lot of projects where people actually build the house without thinking through what they want on how they live, how the space is going to serve them. So in this case, this was a new construction and it already had an existing kitchen, but the kitchen just didn't suit the home, it didn't suit the clients, it didn't suit the vision that we had for the space. And so we actually removed a brand new old kitchen to replace it with a brand new kitchen that was just more functional and practical and more in keeping with their style and their aesthetic.
Well,
so I think,
do you think our focus has changed? Because, I mean, we didn't see that, BC before, COVID, now is, after COVID. So is it fair to say that the kitchen is now, a lot more integral to our life? For example, if you look at Guy, he now has a beard. The last time we saw him, he didn't have a beard, but the beard is now because of COVID. So tell us more about why the kitchen is so important now.
That was another thing with the design of this home. I mean, we have to appreciate that there are some homes that kitchen is the heart of the home.
Yes.
So it absolutely is the anchor, and it needs to suit the family. It needs to be beautiful and practical and functional. However, there are some homes where it actually is just like a service space. And I think the initial design of this kitchen was like that, where it was sort of removed from the rest of the space. It wasn't very high on detail. It really was service where you have persons, like you have a staff that serve you. So we were able to just expand on it. I actually knocked down a wall, stole the washroom area and expanded it into the kitchen, and then stole the helpers quarters and turned that into a butler's pantry. So it's features like that that make a home for families who entertain and congregate in the kitchen. This is the type of kitchen that's perfect for them. So you have to think about that. You have to think about where can you fit an island or a peninsula, so that you can all sit around while meals are being prepared and, you know, share stories and laughter and conversation. So we actually incorporated an island that wasn't there before. And then inside of the island, we're able to accommodate like an ice maker and the microwave, those service items that are not necessarily visible to the space, but there's a place for everything and everything in its place. So I think people need to just think about how the spaces are going to serve them and their family and their friends. Are you a huge cook? Do you cook a lot? So we went with like a 48-inch, 8-burner range, for example, because that's what this kitchen will be doing. Lots of large, fantastic meals to just feed and family and friends, and just, you know, sort of really congregate in the kitchen over good food.
Absolutely. And, you know, good food, a lovely kitchen, the space, of course, you know, getting your home ready. But then who knew that you could look in the garden and find things? But then again, it depends on what you have in your garden. Aisha Panton is the principal of Puss Backfoot. And let's just take a look at some of the things that she creates, and then we'll get back to her. Hi, Aisha, how are you?
I'm Aisha Panton, owner of Puss Backfoot. We're an event boutique in Kingston, Jamaica. We're in the business of creating magic. We're in the business of cultivating joy and just transforming spaces, and by that, hopefully your lives. It was my absolute honor and pleasure to be asked to create a setting for you to give you inspiration for the holiday season. We're also going to be doing a wreath, so you'll have something beautiful for your table and also something beautiful to hang on your door. This is a piece of my heart. It was my absolute pleasure to create this setting for you. It was an honor, and I really hope that you've been inspired, not just by the beauty, but also by just the elements that we've used here, which literally represent the glorious beauty of Jamaica. As you can see, there's coconuts we've used monstera, we've used fan palms, we've used so many things that are readily available to you. Slow down, open your eyes, and see all the beauty that surrounds us. And what I'm really praying for is that you will take all of that beauty and put it on your table this Christmas season. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, first and foremost, to all of my friends who are WhatsApping me. Wow, who knew? Yes, I did tell you. I told you prior that it's the best kept secret here. You know, we've got the best skin specialists, hair, makeup, everything. And now you see, we have everybody here. No reason to look elsewhere. They're all here. Yes, I'm going to have to obviously ask Aisha to walk me through my garden because I'm not too sure. Even if I saw the things, I'd know what to do with them. But Aisha, thank you very much for sharing. What else would you like to tell us about what things that we can find in our garden and be inspired?
I think I'd want to start by saying that having done this for a number of years, one of the most important things for us to do is to actually slow down and look around us. I mean, I started going into spaces and looking at things differently, allowing them to affect me in a different way, and just appreciating just the shape of things, the colors and all of that. And just sort of getting rid of the idea of, it's a leaf, therefore it should be on a tree, not my placemat. Like all of these things that we believe need to stay in a box in a particular way because we traditionally believe that this was the purpose it would serve. I mean, why can't an oyster shell be on my table resting for my knife and fork to rest there? I can also put food on an oyster shell. It's so sort of changing our minds for what we think should be, getting rid of a little bit of tradition and sort of just being really open and a little brave in what we're going to do. And I think that's the way to start. So you will see literally your garden or wherever you go come alive when you take away the boundaries that we have about what we think things should do, where they should go. And that's where we start to transform.
Thank you very much. We certainly will get back to you. We move now to Shakima Hines, who is the Managing Director of Shakima Hines Events and Concierge Limited, as well as a regular contributor to Tuesday Style. She tells us all that's happening, with weddings and events.
Good morning.
Hi, Shakima. We're going to press play now and for an exclusive peek into her fabulous life when she's obviously not making her deadline.
Jamaica is a complete destination. Part of my job is to create a unique experience. Something that is authentic, something that they may have never done before, seen before, or heard before. My name is Shakima Hines from the beautiful island of Jamaica. One of the things that I'm always keen to do is research, so I can understand a little bit about their previous travels, their previous experiences, and their personality. It's important for me to understand their likes and dislikes. I try to offer them experiences they may not have experienced anywhere. What everyone wants now as a traveler is something that they can share with their friends. Something that makes them feel like they're a part of the experience. that has been all over the world, both for professional purposes and vacation purposes, and they said, I've never been horseback riding before. Celebrities, persons eager to get out, are looking for a true, authentic and luxurious experience where they can be one with the culture, the food and the environment. There's so many questions, and no matter your demographic, Jamaica has something to offer for everybody.
As long as you're refusing, you still don't wanna ride. As long as you're refusing, you still don't wanna try. As long as you're refusing, you still don't wanna hide. As long as you're refusing,
Thank you very much, Shakima. So does that mean if we can possibly drag ourselves out of our fabulous kitchens and away from the design details afforded by Aisha, that you will curate a gorgeous package for us? Shakima, tell us more.
Well, the travel industry has certainly changed due to COVID, but one thing that has certainly not changed is everyone's love affair with our island, Jamaica. Both locals are now trying to rediscover Jamaica, and the international clients are eager to get out and be one with our culture and our island. And that's something I'm very keen about creating, is a personalized destination experience in Jamaica. And as I mentioned, I really like to get to know my clients and their personalities, their likes, dislikes, and things they've done or not done before, so that I'm able to showcase the best of the island. There's something here for everyone.
Well, that's for sure, and we definitely will get back to you. Thank you very much, Shakima. Now, some people just have all the fun. And Ryan Green is a butler at Sandals South Coast, you know. It's called Overwater Villas. He just needs to ensure that there's room for the hairdresser to accompany us, because black hair definitely matters. Do you have to be able to swim, Ryan? I hear that's the number one question you get asked all the time. And Max smiled, so obviously he knows it's true.
All right, so as the team, we all are able to swim, but as a guest, you know, you don't necessarily have to be able to swim. And with the bungalow itself, you know, safety is a priority. So your bungalow comes equipped with snorkeling gears. So if ever you wanted to enjoy that experience in the ocean, immerse yourself in the Caribbean Ocean, you have that opportunity to utilize your amenities as it relates to snorkeling gears and definitely enter from your bungalow into the water.
Lovely. So we'll just take a look at that fab living. Can we press play, please, guys, from phase 3? Okay, I did tell you at the outset that's going to be difficult to get back to work. So, Ryan, when can we come?
As soon as you wish, and it's a very easy process. You just need to dial 1-800-SANDALS, and one of our representatives will be more than happy to guide you through availability, prices, and all that
now.
details.
How do you become a butler, Ryan?
Wow, for Sandals Elite Butlers, it's a very extensive training program. They're certified by the Guild of Professional English Butlers. And I did share earlier, it's an extensive training program. It includes classroom settings, practicals, and on-the-job training as well. All butlers that are certified, they receive yearly certification, and it's constant training. We ensure that butlers, when selected, there are 3 factors that we look for: the pride, the presence, and the passion. So there has to be a keen sense of presence. The pride has to be over the moon, over the top. And passion as it relates to service and attention to details, that is very critical for a butler. And Sanders has done a phenomenal job. I have worked as a butler in the past as well, and I can attest, the training it's top notch. Once you've received that training, it actually sets you up to do a phenomenal job, to execute at the highest level, and it's just total guest satisfaction.
So Ryan is the butler manager at Sandals South Coast. So we'll get back to him, and he'll share some more information. But we're going to leave the South Coast for St. James, Montego Bay, and Half Moon Resort. Welcome, Guy Stewart III.
Good morning, Novia. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Suddenly, something in your eyes I see soon begins bewitching me. It's that old devil moon that you stole from the skies. It's that old devil moon in your You and your glance make this romance too hot to handle. Stars in the night, blazing their light, can't hold a candle to your razzle dazzle. You got me flying high and wide on the magic carpet ride, full of butterflies inside. Just when I think I'm free as a dove, oh, devil moon deep in your eyes blinds me in love.
Well, we blinked, and this is what happened at Half Moon. Tell us more, Guy.
Well, I don't quite know where to begin, Novia. After 68 years, we've got so many stories and memories to share with our guests and hopefully new guests. COVID has got us all kind of handcuffed back to our doors. And while you've been sleeping and trying to endure this pandemic, we've been hard at work down at Half Moon trying to reimagine and reinvent, what we call staging our memories, because that's what we do. Is a sort of a wayside inn. We're the means by which the guests come to travel and see Jamaica, learn about Jamaica. We scratch the itch of the intellectually intrepid that had Half Moon. The first clip you saw was a renovation of the Hibiscus Suites, which we've just completed now. The most challenging endeavor in the last 6 months to try to do something like this in this supply chain constrained world. But the team has done a remarkable job at revitalizing the very popular Hibiscus Suites. We've invited more light from the outside into the inside. We've redone the bathrooms, refurnished the FF&E, and it's just a splendid, clean, crisp beach vibe that we've recreated here in these suites looking over my shoulder. The second clip was the eclipse, and this is sort of a belated celebration. On March 1st, 2020, we had our grand opening of what was 5 years of hard work and planning as part of our master plan, and we introduced the new neighborhood, the Eclipse. And 3 weeks later, we were, like the rest of the world, having to shut down and turn away guests. But we're back open fully, and our arms are wide open, hoping our loyal guests return to see what we've been up to, and hopefully capture the imagination of new travelers as well to the island.
So what has the reception been like? Quite a few people have actually stayed. Locals as well as overseas have stayed at the Eclipse.
They have. It's an interesting dynamic. As you know, Half Moon's got a very, very loyal clientele for many years. They've been coming back and back, returning back again with generationally, grandparents and their grandkids. And there's a love and a fondness for Founders Cove. And that's the original footprint of the resort. And we wanted to be very careful that we didn't step on the toes of those memories, but we have to be respectful of our history, but we can't be stuck in history. And when we created the Eclipse, we were very cognizant and sensitive to trying to, bind the things in nature that touches our souls, fragrances, gardens, aesthetics, and the people, of course, at Half Moon, which are the reason why our guests return year after year. But the Eclipse is the new center of gravity of the resort. It's a new neighborhood. It's 57 rooms. Hayward's Restaurant, you heard that lovely little song playing in the background. That's from one of Lance Hayward's albums that was recorded by a quartet that used to be the house band at Half Moon back in 1959. It was off the first record Island Records ever produced, called Lance Hayward at the Half Moon Hotel. So we're about memories and aesthetics and art and culture and trying to expose all Jamaica to the world.
Thank you. We'll get back to you. Max Patchen is the Director of Operations at Ina Roots. Max, tell us a little bit. If we've been living on the planet Mars and we've never heard of Ina Roots, what is Ina Roots?
Good morning, Novia. Welcome. Thank you all panelists. It's great to be here. Well, Ina Roots, we're more than a tour company. So we are born and bred in the Caribbean. And one of the missions that we have of Island Roots is to really showcase the beauty of this island, and we can do that in many different ways as we're learning today. But we're about curating events, curating tours, providing special memories, and it's true as COVID has kind of kind of brought us back to where we want to be, out in the great outdoors and enjoying these memories and understanding that it's all about experiences, as we've heard today. So Island Roots has, we've been around for over 12 years, and we're here, we're a Caribbean bred and born company, and we showcase the finer points of Jamaica, many different experiences that you can have with us. And so I think you'll see that today, that we're just here to leave a lasting memory for all guests who come to Jamaica, both our local residents and anybody who's coming from all over the world to visit this gorgeous and beautiful island that we call The Rock. We're here to, provide those memories.
So let's check out a few of those memories that you're going to provide for us. Would you like to add anything after that, Max? Say for how do we sign up?
Quite the adrenaline rush. Well, just a few things to point out there. One of the more specific is one of the products that we're very proud to have launched this year, born out of the pandemic and COVID, which was the powerboats, one of them that you see behind me here. Not to say that a powerboat is not unique to Jamaica, but we are the first tour company to really launch it as a major product here in Jamaica, and we're very proud to be able to showcase the island a different way, because a lot of guests don't get to see these nooks and crannies and these private beaches, and that's what we aim to do. So it's a very unique and exciting product that we have now, and it's doing extremely well. But it's very easy. Islandroutes.com. We have well over 150 tours here in Jamaica alone. We have an amazing team that curates our tours and makes sure that it's not just about the tour, but it's about the experience as well.
Thank you very much. I have a few questions that have been coming in on my phone. Angeli, is it too late to refurbish my kitchen? If it is, how can I refresh it?
Is it too late? I'm not sure what they mean. It's never too late to refurbish. But if you want it before Christmas, absolutely.
I suspect that's what she means. Yes, she does.
Actually,
yes, she does.
No, actually, maybe not. A great way, like a very color changes everything, and that's the easiest way to change anything. So you could actually just refinish your cabinet doors, for example, and fresh pulls and put on a fresh set of pulls, and that can be done over a couple of days. So you absolutely can take that avenue if you want to refurbish before Christmas. Yes, you could repaint your cabinets. If they're structurally sound and they're in really good shape, I would say yes, you can give me a call and we can arrange to refinish your cabinet doors and possibly change out the pulls, change out the faucets, and you'll have a brand new kitchen.
Okay, and here's one for Ryan. Ryan, could you please walk somebody through the Sandals South Coast over the water bungalow experience? What happens when you check in is the question, and how do you get across there? Yes.
So that's a pleasure to actually explain. Before you arrive, you're given the option of completing a preference. So this would include your flight details, your preferences as relates to special occasions, dietary requirements. Once we receive those details, we're going to coordinate for you a Club Mobile arrival service where you're met by, a Club Mobile representative. You're fast track to the airport customs and immigration process. You're then met by your driver, and you go on a scenic cruise to Sandals South Coast, where you're met by your butler in the lobby, and he'll definitely greet you with a warm smile. Definitely our scented towel with our signature essence, the lemongrass. And then you're taken to your bungalow, where you have waiting for you chilled Prosecco, an arrival amenity, and definitely he'll give you a personalized orientation in the comfort of your suite. And he'll definitely go through all the details as it relates to the resort, the room, and it's simply breathtaking to put it. Well, nothing is simple at Sandals, but to make it easier to comprehend, it's breathtaking. I'll touch on the deck of the bungalow, which is my absolute favorite. There's a hammock there. Your butler can coordinate for you a cozy evening with fluff pillows and covers. You could go stargazing. You could listen to the waves crashing. You could definitely be chilled and cooled by the ocean breeze. You have your tranquility soaking tub. It's really unlimited. In your room, there's a viewing panel where you could actually see the marine life, and even at nights, because you could actually turn a simple switch on and you definitely get lighting. Your butlers are going to ensure that you have the most fantastic, phenomenal, amazing time at Sandals South Coast. And we're known for dining experiences, 5-star global gourmet experiences. Your butler will actually coordinate that for you, because at the bungalows, you have an exclusive culinary team that looks after your every dining needs. So allergies, preference as it relates to a particular cuisine, you name it, we're going to ensure that that is arranged and executed. And for the special touches, the butlers are there for you. They're going to ensure that you have an unforgettable experience in every way.
Here's what she wants to really find out. How does she get there? Does she have to swim? How does she get from the, I get it now, this is the question that she's asking, how does she get from the car to the overwater bungalow?
Understand. All right, so from below, you're escorted on a golf cart, and there's a deck that actually takes you.
I think that's what you wanted. There's a deck. So sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
Yes, so your butler will definitely escort you from the reception area onto the deck, and that takes you to your individual bungalow.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much for that. I'm just going to ask everybody, I'm just going to go around again and just ask everybody to, you might have left something or you want us to focus on a particular aspect of the video that we shared. Anjali, we're back in the kitchen with you. There's a question, but there are two questions, but I'm not seeing it. The font is way, way too small. But go ahead, Anjali, until I get the questions.
Are they questions for me, or you want me to just elaborate?
Just go ahead.
Okay, just go ahead. I think I've said most of it, but essentially, I think it's important for people to just appreciate like the beauty of the kitchen, that for most of us, especially now with COVID, because so many of us have now become cooks and chefs, and families are gathering more, like much more. We're entertaining more at home because we don't have the ability to go out as much anymore. Just think about how your space is going to serve you in these new times. You know what I mean? I found that there's been a lot of renovations happening during COVID. Everybody has sort of sat back and realized that, this broken door and this lodged drawer and these old chairs that need a little refurbishing, a lot of that has been happening. And so I think more than ever, our focus is now more on home and family, and just the love of that, and the communion and the togetherness. And even like preparing for Christmas, you just have to think, if you don't have the facilities, for example, to prepare everything, then a potluck is also a great idea, and we are just really the facilitator. So I think it's just there are very simple ways, like I said to the person who asked that question, to refreshen your kitchen and update your kitchen. It's paint goes a very long way, so you can refinish cabinets. Just changing out the pulls also goes a very long way. You can add backsplash tiles to the kitchen if you don't already have them existing, and that can sort of freshen up your walls. You can also change out pulls to like soft close pulls and soft close hinges, just to bring your kitchen up to date. Revamp your appliances. There is quite a lot of shortage, and that we're experiencing. I mean, it's been very, very difficult and challenging to get supplies in. I've been trying to replace my oven, and the one I want just keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed. But I mean, there are multiple alternatives, and there is a lot available here in Jamaica. That's one thing that we don't even realize as well.
Yes.
That we don't have to look abroad at all. There are so many places available here that have stuff available for us, and there are also a lot of independent contractors and artisans, and that can actually help you to get the space that you want. That kitchen that you saw was 100% Jamaican-made cabinet kitchen. The countertop was fabricated here in Jamaica by a wonderful fabricator. I mean, we did import some of the things that we wanted just because they were not available here, like a lot of the finishes in like gold, for example, but there are quite an extensive number of things here. I mean, our friends at Cola, for example, can also import for you, so you can't find it yourself, you know what I mean? So there are lots and lots of ways to actually update your kitchen. You just have to sit down and formulate a plan, and you can absolutely execute a beautiful kitchen from what you have or from scratch.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Ryan. I thought my idle friends were just, but Margaret Blake also wants to know how you get from the shore to the bungalow. You see, Ryan, this is what people want to know. How do you get from the shore to the bungalow? Is Max going to chop us over? I mean, how do you get from the shore to the bungalow?
All right.
Thank you for
So
that question, Margaret Blake.
All right. So
It's amazing what people ask.
We have two resort that actually has the overwater bungalow concept. So Sandals Royal Caribbean, to get to the bungalows at Sandals Royal Caribbean, you are actually taken on a boat that takes you over to the private island, and that's where the bungalows are located. For Sandals South Coast, there's a deck that actually takes you directly to the bungalows, so you would not need the assistance of a boat. But should there be, a desire, that's something we could definitely arrange.
Margaret Blake, I hope he has answered the question for you. Okay, much better now, thanks. Guy Stewart, a question for you. The eclipse, is it part of, is there a separate entrance? How does one find that new area at Half Moon?
Well, there is. It's always been at Half Moon. It's just now restored into a very grand and elegant entry. You saw a little bit of that video, the second video showing the entry to this lovely great house that is, there's over my shoulder there behind me. So there's a separate entrance into Eclipse, but it's all part of the resort, same resort. We have over 400 acres of spaciousness and very low density development. And in this era where people are concerned about being too crowded, I can assure you at Half Moon that that's not the case. We have almost 2 miles of private beachfront as well to do as much or as little as one's heart is content to do. So it's very elegant, it's very stately, and it's evocative of wonderful Jamaican architecture. Very elegant, airy, crisp, minimalist design.
We saw the entrance, the reception area on that video.
Right.
Guy, can you tell us a little bit more about that? It looked very Jamaican in flavor and texture.
Well, Hart Howerton was the designer. They scoured the island to look for influences that helped them articulate what we wanted to try to present. And one of the things that was very important to us was, we are sited on this nexus of land that merges the solid and soldierly-like mountains to the south that are resolute and steadfast and largely unspoiled. And looking north to the dynamism and the hypnotic motions of the ocean, Half Moon sits astride these two forms. And it's when you look at the ocean, you're mesmerized, you're relaxed as the minute you walk into the lobby, and you turn around and look from whence you arrived, and the mountains just lure you back into the island to do some of the wonderful things that some of these other panelists have been talking about, what they try to do with their businesses. Jamaica is a gorgeous island, and there's a lot to do. Or if you just want to put your toes in the sand, you can do that as well.
Shakima, Margaret Blake says thank you, Ryan. Shakima, what is it that these celebs really go after, privacy aside, when they land in Jamaica?
They definitely want to experience the things that Jamaica is known for. Imagine they're locked up, after COVID, everybody was locked up or locked down, and everybody's just eager to get out. And one of the things imagine going somewhere where there's unique food, reggae music, mountains, rivers, oceans, just a high energy. That's something that they want to experience. And the more celebrities and influencers that come to our island and showcase the best of our culture, the best of our food, is the more the interest in our island. I have persons who've, not done things. They've traveled across the entire globe, but they've never been, rafting, or for a bride to jump off of a raft in her wedding dress is just something that's unique and unheard of. So when they want to come to Jamaica, they want to do what they hear about Jamaica. They want to experience, they want to go where the locals are. They want to go to the fruit stalls. They want to walk on the roads, just to get a little bit of what makes the island so unique. Delve directly into it. So whether you're looking for low-key, casual, laid-back luxury or high-end exclusivity, Jamaica is definitely the place to go because it has a little bit of everything for every demographic. So no matter who you are or what you have in mind, I mean, there are persons you can stay at a beautiful luxury resort, but you still have that opportunity to get out and experience the island. And that's what sets Jamaica apart and makes us one of the top destinations in the world.
Aisha, you are the go-to wedding person to, moving straight from Shakima to you. What is it? What wows a bride-to-be and or guests? They're at the wedding. The bride has spoken to you. What wows them nowadays? What are they looking for?
I think much of what Shakima is saying was certainly the clients that I attract. They're looking for an authentic Jamaican island experience. I find that they're looking for beautiful locations. So immediately you're taken in by the natural beauty of the space. And so one of the things I'm challenged to do is to not go into the space and create an entire new setup, but to actually allow the space to dictate how we will actually design the entire mood and flow of the event. So it's taking a cue from the foliage that may be there, or the color of the building, or a detail. If it's an old building, maybe I might be inspired by even just the way the windows look or the doors look, and think about how I can incorporate that. So it's a cohesive feeling. It's almost as if I'm just trying to expand the actual heart of the place as it already exists, rather than create something else. And I find that way it makes the experience a little bit more approachable, but still a little bit also surreal, because there's just lots of little details, and there's movement, there's there's a little unexpected something on your table, or there's something right above your head level, or when you look up a little bit higher, there's something else to see. So it's literally just creating lots of movement, lots of things for your eyes to just keep on dancing around, and just letting it feel, approachable enough to feel like you deserve this belongs to you, but also just magical at the same time.
But when you say uniquely Jamaican, you're on an island, what would some of the things be that you'd incorporate because don't forget, some people, they don't really care where they are.
So just things like, everybody's loving coconuts. They want to drink coconut out of the shell, want a coconut on their table. As you saw, I used the breadfruit leaf. How can and like one of the things that I loved and I really started doing was using a lot more and more just things that are locally made here. I remember seeing straw mats and straw baskets when I was growing up, and it was in a time when we didn't think that the things in Jamaica were, cool enough or good enough. And I was just like, no, even just the name Puss Fat Foot, I've always long been inspired by Jamaica. When I started this business, I wanted something that was
Jamaican.
Uniquely Jamaican, and it meant really strong style. And when I just started, I was just like, I kept on thinking I had to import everything. And I was like, no, I don't have to. There's so much beauty here. And so, the straw mat started going on my table. I use, I will grab a Bauhaus plate is going on my table, something from Pinta Pottery is going on my table. And those are the things that people are loving, just artisanal. They're wanting to really hold on to the things that are special about Jamaica, being made and designed at a world-class level. And I'm bringing more and more of those things to the table. And I find that is creating a really good experience and setting what we do apart.
I absolutely agree with you. A world-class experience and a world-class level. And you mentioned some of our artisans, Bauhaus and that you incorporate in in your tablescape. Angeline mentioned as well that magnificent kitchen that could pass muster in any global publication, made by local artisans. Or some of it was imported. But let me ask Guy first, and then Max. Guy, in terms of Half Moon has always been, the place that attracts the well-heeled, the global fabulosity. Interesting that when you go to Half Moon, you definitely feel as if you're in Jamaica. How important was that for you, Guy, and the team, to convey that, when so often we want our properties, we want our homes to look everything but local.
Well, it's why you travel. You want to explore new things and see new sights and meet new people and old friends. And, for us to impose something that was foreign to Jamaica would sort of define what's practical. I've heard some of these panelists talk about using local artisans. Well, we've been doing that for generations, from Michael Lester's art to the Edna Manley School of Art, helping to populate our Eclipse, our room inventory. Dreddy has populated our new hibiscus with splashes of color. It's important because it's your fabric, it's your DNA, it's your history, it's your character, it's your culture, and anything else would not be good business, frankly.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because at the Eclipse I was there. Well, who knew that COVID was around the corner when you launched the Eclipse? But the art, yes, the walls are in fact populated by art from the students of the Edna Manley College. What has the response been to that? And I noticed as well in your suites as well, the baskets, the mats. What has the response been? Have your clients noticed that?
Oh, absolutely. They've noticed it, and they applaud it because it's supporting artisans within the community, whether they're basket weavers or sculpturists or, mixed media artisans, or even just traditional oils and watercolors. Those sorts of things give you compliments to the built environment, and they help, create the memories that resonate with us. We've introduced as one of the, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And one of the things that we did with part of the COVID is we opened up our villas back in June of 2020. And really since the airports were essentially closed, we were attracting locals, Jamaicans, to experience the North Coast. They may not have had a chance to do it, maybe didn't think it was, something for them, but as soon as they get there, they understand just what a, wonderful spot Jamaica, Half Moon is. And, they've learned that Del Mare and Sugar Mill are, the finest restaurants on the island. And that's not just me saying it. I think that's been recognized by the Jamaica Observer. There's a soft plug for you, Novia.
That's feel free. It's the Jamaica Observer Table Talk Food Awards. You've got the best restaurants on the island.
So, you have to appeal to all the senses, sight, smell, ears, the taste. All of that, that's part of what we experience in life as humans as we go through it and try to leave, a lasting memory. Because, we've learned one thing, I think, as an upshot of COVID is, this, I guess pre-COVID, there was a materialism that people were attracted to. And now you've had to take a step back and understand interpersonal relationships. And when we're starting to be socially distanced, imagine being told you're not essential. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? We're all essential, right? So once it's trying to explore people once again and reconnect in ways that, we still have to be cognizant of being safe in our surroundings. And Half Moon is very respectful of that. And, like I said, with as big a footprint as we have, you can be as active or socially isolated as you like, and you'll still be part of the resort experience and getting the full flavor of Jamaica's vibe.
And you do have the best bellmen, so I have to shout out.
We do. We've got great you can have, I've told our team that, we could build the prettiest buildings and have the loveliest gardens, but a lot of that would be sterile without the people that populate it. And the spirit and the attitude of Jamaicans is resolute. It's really remarkable what folks in the industry have gone through, been kneecapped by, COVID, and yet you still come to Half Moon and you see the smiling faces and returning warmth and embrace of, welcome back, man. And one thing I will say, Novia, for those who didn't see the clip earlier, if you go to our halfmoon.com website, you'll see clips of that entryway you were asking me about. Mm-hmm. And you'll also see, some of our specials, staycation specials for people who want to stay late or stay a long time, as well as local specials to attract, Jamaicans to come see their North Coast.
We have it here, and the music is just so lovely.
Yeah. That's the Great House. That's lovely.
Okay, thank you very much. Max, in terms of packaging, in the beginning, I think the only thing that people outside of Jamaica looked at Jamaica for in terms of attractions, obviously Dunn's River Falls and rafting on the Rio Grande, because this is something that, they saw Errol Flynn doing way back when. But tell us about, what's in demand, Max? What are the tours? I mean, how many did you say you do?
So we do over 150 tours.
Out of the 150.
I think, to your point, I think there's something for everybody. And I think that one of the things
I think we're having a slight problem.
I have a bad connection here.
Right.
Hold on a second.
You're back. We can hear you. You're back.
Can you hear me now?
We're hearing you now. Well, we were hearing you.
Sorry.
Yes, we are. Are you there?
Yes. Now I'm here. Sorry about that. No,
yes.
To answer your question, yes, Dunn's River, popular by all. It's iconic. Same with rafting. Those are probably the most iconic things. You have Rick's with the sunset. Those kind of iconic things. But I think the thing to point out specifically is that we can offer private tours, powerboat behind me, things that we can do. Don't just involve going to Dunn's River or rafting. People want to just kind of go as a group. They want to do things unique and different. Still want to experience Jamaica, the food, the culture. You saw in the video clip where they can go on a guided mini tour. And we stop at all different points in Jamaica. They get to taste the jelly coconut. If you're going to Ocho Rios, you stop at Miss T's Kitchen, iconic restaurant in Ocho Rios. Great Jamaican food. On the way down to the grill, we stop at Mosquito Cove and they get to get fruit and they get to taste the coconut and those things. Get to see the 7 Mile Beach in the grill, not just drive, going up to walking on it and kind of feeling that culture. So outside of just the shared experiences, we have this, what we've seen is just a demand for people wanting to do things on their own, utilizing a powerboat or a catamaran and going out for an afternoon, enjoying the sunset and having, again, it's that experience with people that maybe they haven't had a chance to connect with for over a year. As we all said, people were kind of indoors and they just want to get outside and get that fresh air and being able to just experience and immerse themselves in this culture that is so diverse. I mean, we have some of the most diverse, not just the history of our island, the mountains. I mean, there's the things you can do in Jamaica in one day. Go from the extreme of the beach and you can be at 7,000 feet above sea level if you want to go to the Blue Mountains, all in one day if that's something you want to do. And I think that's what just makes it so unique. And so we've seen that demand. I mean, we've seen people wanting to just take a mini routes tour and just kind of, hey, can I stop here? And we do it in such a way that they feel as though, they're behind the wheel, number one. So they get the experience of driving here in Jamaica, which is an experience of its own. It's guided. We have somebody in front and they have a great time. So, you know, what more unique than driving on the left-hand side, which we call it the right way. And you get to experience Jamaica from a whole different lens. So these are just some of the things that we're able to bring to the table and, you know, just be able to showcase for any visitor. And the thing is, the unique part of this is not just guests who are coming back, who have just visited Jamaica for the first time. These are guests who are coming back over and over and over, who have just, you know, Jamaica's like their second home. And they just want to do something different.
So if I wanted Duns River Falls all by myself, you could shut it down for me? For one night only?
We can make a phone call. But outside of that, I mean, we are getting demands for that. We're getting people who want to experience Duns River, but they want to do it in such a way where maybe it's private in the sense that they get there an hour before it opens to the public. Again, it takes coordination. It takes some doing and some phone calls. It's something that's not out of the realm of possibilities in that respect. Same thing on a powerboat. You pull up to a private cove and, you know, you come out and you can have a lunch, have your, you know, champagne, or you can have your Red Stripe or whatever you want to do on the beach. And being able to do that is, you know, that's things that people, you know, just want to leave a lasting impression and a memory, which is, I think, what we kind of want to drive across, you know, in all aspects.
Absolutely. Well, Jamaica, you either get it or you don't, as I've always said, and Rock Fab Living is definitely what we do. Ryan, we're back to you. I told you, see, Ryan, you can always talk about, you know, overwater bungalows, that's beautiful and everything, but you see, question, how do you get inside? So, okay, Ryan, what happens when you are by yourself now in your little world of overwater bungalow villas, right? Take a look, you know, what happens? You wake up in the morning, what happens? You just stay there. Not that you want to do anything, no itinerary, nothing.
All right, so definitely for each client, they have their own, you know, expectations and preferences. If it is you want to stay in your bungalows, again, let me remind you, you do have that butler service, and for that butler service is actually 24/7. So there's actually a daytime team of butler and also a nighttime team of butler that would actually cater to your every wishes and even your unexpressed wishes as well. So if it is you want to have breakfast in the comfort of your bed, you know, overlooking the lovely ocean, you can have that as an option. Your butler would coordinate that for you and have it delivered fresh and, you know, prepared to the highest standards. They're going to ensure that that is coordinated. If it is you want to lounge on your deck, you know, they're going to coordinate, you know, your coolers with all your beverage preferences, you know, your fresh towels, you know, all that you possibly will need, they're going to have it there for you. Lunch, you know, without a doubt, that will be coordinated. Cocktails at 11. They're going to have that covered. Evening cocktails at 4. An amenity will be delivered for you. So, you know, they're going to ensure that you're well fed, you know, you're well looked after. Nothing at all you would need, you know, you'd have the comfort of, you know, a television should you want to watch and catch up on some of your, you know, your programs. But definitely, I don't think, you know, most persons really do watch a television. What they will watch is that lovely view, and that's 360 ocean view that they'll actually enjoy. And, you know, the butlers are there, you know, if it is it's entertainment, you want something added, you know, that's something the butlers could coordinate and have it taken to your unit, your bungalow. So they're going to ensure that all goes perfectly. You don't have to leave the bungalow. I know some persons want to venture out and actually enjoy the resort, but there are some persons who just simply do not leave their bungalow. They're going to enjoy the sun, get their perfect tan. They're going to have, you know, their wonderful meals, and they'll even sit back and just relax and do nothing. And again, your vacation is what you want to make it, and for some, it's just doing nothing.
So how much does it cost for the locals, Ryan? Question.
All right, so definitely for the bungalows, giving you a range, it ranges for 2,000 plus per night, and that would be for a couple. You know, and in booking that, you have to do a minimum of 3 nights. But you know, if you were to do a split stay, that's something our booking team would actually assist you in coordinating.
That answers quite a few questions. Thank you very much, Ryan. So, Angeli, back to you in the kitchen. I'm not too sure why people want to refresh their kitchen, but I can only imagine why. Outside of refreshing the cabinets, is there anything else that you can do on a budget, according to Budget Auntie? You can't look at least that kitchen and think about a budget. You're mute.
Sorry about that. Yes, you
Okay.
can purge the kitchen and you can reorganize. So a lot of that is you can do actually. You can take a lot of the junk out. You can organize. A lot of people sort of lean away from having glass front cabinets. I actually love to incorporate a couple of those, like to the sides of the refrigerator or on either side of the stove, where you can put your nice decorative plates and your glasses. So people know when they come into your kitchen, if they're going to pour themselves a drink, where will they find glasses? So I actually like upper cabinets to have glass fronts so that you can actually immediately see and you don't end up opening up all the cabinets just to find that. It also forces you to keep it tidy and to keep it beautiful. And for those of us who like beautiful decorative pieces, that's the perfect place to display it. If you also look in this kitchen, I incorporated open shelving because that sort of minimizes on the continuous cabinets that you may see, so you can see the open shelving there, or it also helps you to display beautiful pieces. So that's what I like, just to incorporate some open shelving, just especially if it's a large kitchen, you don't want to fill it all with just cabinets everywhere. So open shelving, like floating shelves, are also quite beautiful. You can put your nice platters on it, you can display your beautiful pieces, your collectibles. And they're also on hand, so you end up using them. I mean, a lot of us tend to just even like wedding presents, your fine china and that sort of thing. You just sort of put them away and you forget about them. But if you're not clumsy like me, then I would advise you absolutely. But just use your pieces, and or just at least have them on display. Appreciate them. Help to just make the space look just beautiful. Because for me, it's all about function, but also look, the beauty and the finish. You just want the place to really look really nice. So those are ways that you can absolutely just revamp your kitchen.
But it's interesting. The word budget comes up. Can you do a lovely vacation on a budget? And I'm going to go straight to Guy and then to Ryan. Ryan, Pat says that you need to be on the Jamaica Tourist Board, but I don't think they'd want to take you from Sandals. So perhaps in your next job, Ryan for the JTB, they're saying. Okay, can you do Jamaica on a budget? Guy, can you do Half Moon on a budget? Speak truth.
Of course, just depends on how big your budget is. No, we run specials all the time. We try to expose Half Moon to those people who want to experience, the aspirational elegance and the casual elegance of the resort. We're not the low-cost provider of vacations. That's not our business. Our model is one of excellence and cultivated, beach vibe. It's a unique spot. And when we built the Eclipse, we asked our team to think beyond the shores, to try to be the best Jamaica and measure ourselves against the finest resorts in the world. And through our architecture, through our level of service, through our culinary expertise, that defines us, and that defines your budget as well.
Okay. Max, can you do a fabulous tour of the island on a budget?
You can. Depends on what your budget is. Again, but you can do it on a budget, of course. I mean, we run specials all the time on our website. It depends on what the guest wants to do while they're here, and just some of the elements that need to be put into it. We have many shared tours. We have tours that can take you to the Blue Mountains. You can do bicycle tour in the Blue Mountains, leaving from Ocho Rios, and that's very affordable. If it's something you want where it's a private experience, that's going to be a little bit different because we're going to add in elements that person wants specifically. and make it more curated. So, we have something for everybody, going on a catamaran, going out to see the sunset, doing some snorkeling. So those things are built in, and I think we have something for everyone.
Okay.
Can I answer one thing in part? I didn't have it in front of me, but for those who are tuning in from the island, we do have local specials. The hibiscus suites, which you saw, start at $423 a night. Villas can be available for beginning at $850 a night, depending on the season. And our lowest price room is $275 a night. So, you can see there's a wide gap between types of accommodations and pricing to try to fit it into your budget.
Thank you for that. There's a question here from Pat. Pat, you didn't listen to Ryan. He said that it starts at $2,000 US per night for the overwater bungalows. The second part of her question, Ryan, is there a wait list? I understand, this is from Pat. Ryan for JTB board. What's the cost of the overwater bungalow, though? I've answered that. I understand that there's a wait list. Is the wait list long, Ryan? And do you have availability for Christmas?
No.
I know. I was waiting, Angeli, I'm waiting for Ryan. I'm waiting for Ryan to answer.
My anniversary and it's booked out. I just sold out.
Is there a wait list, Ryan? And if there's a wait list, like at the Eclipse, the wait list is until 2023 for for certain rooms. Is there a wait list, Ryan?
You're muted.
You're muted, Ryan.
My apologies. All right, for the overwater bungalows, Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. What you may find, open slots. They may not be available today, but a little bit further down.
Ryan, you're fully booked until when?
Well, the last I can check. Well, I don't want to confirm that. For our booking team, they will better be able to guide you on that one. But I can say it's very active as it relates to the bookings. But you may be fortunate to actually have an opportunity to stay. So definitely feel free to call 1-800 Sandals for availability.
1-800 Sandals. Here's the thing. Somebody just messaged me, no, listen, let's not get it twisted. Before there was the Maldives, now it's the Sandals Overwater Villas, far superior. And yes, there's a wait list. And yes, Pat, perhaps we need Ryan for the JTB board. Here's a question for every single member of the panel, for each panelist. And we'll start with you, Angeli. What's the main thing that sets Jamaica apart from other islands? Question that somebody wants everybody to answer.
Okay, for me, it's the people. To be Jamaican is a total vibe. There is a specialness and an energy about Jamaicans that's incredibly unique. It makes us unique, and despite all of our issues and all of our worries and our problems, as the expression says, Jamaica nice, and that's why Jamaica is nice. It's despite the beauty of the island. I mean, it is undeniably physically beautiful naturally. I mean, whenever I travel to other places and you can see where every palm tree or every tree is perfectly placed and somebody measured and put it there, you don't have that with Jamaica. Jamaica is just naturally beautiful. And I mean, once we fix our little issues, and I'll quote the words of the government. It says there's nothing wrong with Jamaica that can be fixed by what is right with Jamaica. And that's our people. And I think that is purely the essence of the country. It's just unique, special. People come here. I mean, a lot of foreigners come here for the short tenures and they end up making Jamaica their home.
Yeah.
And they're coming from places that we all dream that we could go and visit or go and live. And they give up these incredibly special places just to be here. And it is purely because there's just like a very special vibe and energy about Jamaica that is just unmatched.
Aisha, your take. What's the main thing that sets Jamaica apart from other islands?
I I believe it's because we literally have beauty on every corner. Like looking out my window now, and there's like the most amazing bougainvillea looking at me. And we're also, Jamaica is just really versatile. I mean, we have amazing beaches, and then we can drive for half an hour and have the most amazing experience up in a mountaintop. And I just think it's versatile and it makes it magical. And I mean, you can go downtown and you're driving along the road and you're smelling the pan chicken, and there's the fruit vendors. Like I mean, maybe everybody doesn't like, but I love to stop on the road. And like when I'm going to the country, I'm stopping every half an hour because I have to get my jerk pork at this place, or I want to get roast yam and sausage somewhere else. So it's just, there's just a collective energy here that is just incredible. And I think that's what draws people in, the people, but just, there's just so much here. There's literally something on every single corner.
Shakima, thank you. Shakima.
Yes, Jamaica definitely, I would say it's not a place, but it is an experience. It's something that you feel that gets into your heart and soul once you get to the island. Even, you know, as locals, we ourselves enjoy our own country because, you know, it has so much to offer, and the energy and the feeling and the vibe, and it's they call it the heartbeat of the world. It really is, because we just feel it in our souls.
Absolutely. Ryan.
All right, so that will definitely be for me, the people. You know, I believe Mr. Guy touched on it. You know, you may have the most beautiful building and, you know, all the most high-tech amenities, but the people are really what brings that essence, that energy, that vibe. And for Jamaica, we're very expressive, and I'm sure in service as well, that comes alive. You know, each team member is as if they're on show. And it's not a show to say it's fake, it's show to say, this is me, this is what I stand for, this is what I believe in. And, you know, each day we go to work, you know, we give up our best because we know we represent the country, we represent our families, and, you know, we represent our respective organizations. And for Jamaica, we are definitely we pride ourselves on, you know, our blood, our heritage, our rich cultural heritage, and we definitely have natural resources to back that up. So, you know, when it comes to beaches, you know, heritage sites, you know, we have all of those resources. So I think it really works perfectly for us. We have the people, we have the vibe, we have the energy, and we also have all the natural resources to complement.
Thank you, Ryan. Guy?
Yeah, everyone's articulated it fairly well, but I think it's summed up by the JTB in their simple tagline, you know, once you go, you know. It's you know, you can wax on poetic, but it's so true. Once you step foot on the island and you meet the people, as Mr. Green was suggesting, it just gets into your blood. I'm a symbol of that, you know. I'm the personification. I'm third generation Jamaican, if you will. You know, my grandfather helped start Half Moon in 1954, and here we are 68 years later, still doing what we were doing initially and trying to do it as best we can to, you know, be competitive with the world. But, you know, what we have, no one else has. Jamaica and its people are very unique.
Yeah. Max?
Like everybody said, and I can summarize it, roots and culture. That is what it all comes down to, and we are a roots and culture country. And I think the most proud thing is when you go overseas and you see how we're emulated as a country. Everybody wants to be Jamaican. Everybody's trying to have a Jamaican restaurant, and you even see your fellow countrymen who are setting up themselves all over. So I think that's the proud thing for us. It's roots and culture, and we don't forget that no matter where we go, and we showcase that here where the guests want to actually pack that in their suitcase and take it back with them. Because it's the people make this country.
From Stacey Clark, this is a question for Puss Backfoot. I love your nature-filled approach to decor at events. Do you have a website?
Pussbackfoot.com.
Nice and easy. How do I contact Mrs. Spencer, and does she have workshops for clients? She doesn't have time. Is it like how Ryan says that the Overwater Villa is fully booked? She's fully booked too. Angelique, do you have a website?
I do, and it's actually it's going to officially launch this month. So I need to officially launch it now. It's time. It's time. But they can find me on Instagram, Angelique Spencer Home, and my contact information is there. So
yeah, it's time. Aisha doesn't have a book either. It's time. Angelique's going to have a book next year. It's time. Is there a Half Moon book, Guy? Is there an Ina Roots book, Max? Is there an Over the Water Village? I mean,
You know, we do have a book. We have a Treasury of Half Moon. It's a simple paperback book, which tries to capture our 68 years in a take-home, tome. It's pretty thin. We sell it up in the Maquette. And we have a coffee table book in production now that got interrupted by COVID. But now with the Eclipse having me finished, we'll just have to write another chapter. But it's hard to put in pictures or even on a website. The senses of Half Moon.
very true. A coffee table book sounds good. Angelique, Aisha, Shakima, yeah. Okay, Rock Fab Living, wonderful. We've heard all the good things about our beloved island. But, Aisha, we'll start with you. We're going to do it the other way around. Aisha, what can we do to improve our Rock Fab Living from where you sit? Because you deal with people every single day. They come in, you deal with workmen. You have to create beautiful experiences. What? How can we improve?
Gosh. I would say one of the biggest challenges I have right now, I want to say work ethic, understanding just how important it is to work hard to produce quality, not sometimes, but all the time, at any cost. Yeah, I would say I know there are going to be lots of other things, but for me, that's my challenge right now, is just getting people to just get on board and to be satisfied, nothing other than excellence. I feel like there's a spirit of mediocrity in Jamaica, like, we will settle for what it's good enough, it's okay. No, the only thing that's good enough is excellence, and that's where I think we need to rise to in service, in the things that we produce, and to just accept that as the bare minimum and go from there.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Yes, it's wonderful, it's gorgeous, but we do have to look at our flaws too. Shakima.
One of the things, it's somewhat in keeping on track with what Aisha said, but I think it's very important, just as different industries in our nation, that we hone our talents, and that our people will be eager and anxious to continuously learn, to ensure that our island, our services, our offerings are always better than the other countries, better than what people expect, so that we're always have a desire to excel and to exceed expectations, and not to plateau with standards of services and offerings. Like many of these brands that are here, everybody has, as we say, up the ante, and it's just not just for persons at one level, but if everyone excels and does it continuously, it would set us always ahead of the game. And just like the Jamaica Observer is always showcasing things that are happening internationally, it's just so that we can know what's happening outside, so that when people come to Jamaica, or we as locals can just keep ahead of what's happening. I mean, I know especially with like Angie and Aisha will agree with me that it's important to just keep watching the trends and seeing what's happening, so that we're on par or ahead of everything. So learning is very important. Thank you very much. Angelique.
So Aisha and I had this conversation just the other night, that our biggest challenge is, we can create the most beautiful spaces in our head and on planet. Aisha, as always, tease her about it. but we require people to help us execute that. And the standard has to be excellence all the time, as she said, at any budget. And when you are committed to a client, it's not John Tom who was delayed in the delivery of the cabinet. It's Ash that was late in the delivery of the cabinet. And it's simple things that can just bring a whole company or a whole person down, or individuals like us who are operating. So we actually need to get to a place where everyone has an exceptional work ethic and respect for time, respect for timelines, respect for money. You know what I mean? You're not wasting people's money. You're not, that's the biggest challenge that I personally have, is that the work ethic is very low and the standards are low as a result. And it's not that they're incapable, they just lack that level of pride that is required to just execute things at the absolute best.
Ryan, sorry.
You can't. Nothing is can't. We have to figure out a way to do it. So we have to sort of think outside of limitations, and just go for it.
Thank you. Ryan, how do you keep your butlers on their toes? How do you ensure that code of excellence 24/7, just like room service?
All right, as it relates to the team, they're very aware as it relates to the expectations, and each day they come to work, I don't need to remind them. They know they know the expectations, and for them, again, it's a personal pride that they take in what they do, and they're gonna go above and beyond to ensure that everything is top-notch, is over the top. I definitely will do my audits and my checks to ensure, consistency, but I am very confident with my team, and they deliver day in, day out, 24/7, there's no limitation. So I have a phenomenal team. It's a wonderful product, and it's just maintaining it and ensuring that, as our executive chairman does, keep elevating ourselves and going above and beyond, thinking outside the box, with our execution, just up in the game, because at the end of the day, Sandals is known for taking that next step, doing the unthinkable, achieving the impossible. And for my team, that's what the guest expects, and that's what we're going to deliver.
Guy, how do your secret weapon, and I'll say this without fear of contradiction, are your bellmen. That to me, your housekeeping department, your bellmen, that tells me all I need to know about any property anywhere in the world. What's your magic formula, Guy?
Well, I think I have to give credit to our team of human resources, because it is hard to attract good people. You want to try to be the aspirational employer to get those young Jamaicans who want to work in hospitality to want to work at Half Moon. But we hire spirit, we hire attitude, we hire sincerity and integrity, and we teach skills. And, a lot of that just comes out from, good upbringing, good education, and a heart as big as all of Jamaica.
Thank you very much. Max?
I think a lot of it has to do with, we have, just like Ryan said, it's doing our audits and training our team. I think we have some of the best captains around and crew who deliver an outstanding product on our catamarans and our power boats and our fishing boats. We have a very strong relationship, and I use the word relationship because we work with all of these partners throughout the island who deliver all of these tours that we're able to present to all of our guests. So I think it's about, developing those relationships, but at the same time, I always say that feedback is a gift, and it's something that we use if we don't do it right, because we strive for excellence, but we know we always don't do it right, and we use that to build on it and use it as a learning. And I think it's all in the hiring practices. It's about how you bring the spirit of that and you deliver something to the guests more than what they expected. And those are some of the things that we try to do and live by every day, so that we're able to deliver that product that is integrity in what we're selling.
And I'll go back to the beginning, and Anjali, as we look to close the curtains on 2021 and approach 2022, last year we were kind of, in between. The year started kind of on a positive note because there was talk of a vaccine. Now there's talk of a new variant. How do we see 2022 as an island, especially moving into the new year, still dealing with COVID? What do you wish for us as a people? Let me start with you this time, Max.
Sorry, it broke up. Can you repeat it again,
Okay,
please?
certainly. How do all of you see 2022 as an island, especially moving into the new year, still dealing with COVID? What do you wish for us as a people?
Well, for 2022, we're closing out. I think we've learned a lot about ourselves and about others in 2021. And I guess my hope going into 2022 is more patience. We've seen this renewed energy of people wanting to do things and experience things, which is just fabulous. But I also think we all have to take a step back and look at what patience really looks like, because things seem to speed up very quickly as we're coming out of this, or kind of coming out of it, so to speak. You have to look back and decide on, what does patience really look like? Because I think there's so much demand for doing all of the things and all of these wonderful things that have been presented today. The demand is there, but we're all struggling with, again, different levels of how do we get product on, how do we, meet the guest expectations and some of those things. So you have to try to balance those things out. And I think going into 2022, I think for me, that's one of the big things about patience and delivering at the same time.
So patience and delivering. Okay, love that. Thank you, Max. Guy, your take.
Well, one thing we've learned in the last 20 months or so is you've got to be flexible and you have to be resilient, and you have to stay focused because things move very, very quickly. I haven't seen demand curve be quite as sensitive to any one variant as we've all experienced in the last 20 months. It wasn't that long ago that you knew 6-7 months in advance what your guest occupancy might be.
Exactly.
And that's no longer the case. And the upside of that is that lift into the island is exceptional. And there are ways to get to Jamaica quite easily, especially out of the States, where most of our demand is coming from now. And that's changed over the last 5 or 6 years, certainly over the last 20 years. But it's very easy to get to Jamaica. It's the process to get in is much more facilitated through the COVID app. There's a focus on safety and trying to create an environment for people who want to get on with their lives and live it, and not be chained to their curbside. There's a big world out there. We have to be safe. We have to be smart, but we don't have to be shy. We can get out there and experience travel.
I love that. Ryan.
And the question, could you repeat for me, please?
Certainly. How do you see 2022 as an island, especially moving into the new year, still dealing with COVID? What do you wish for us as a people?
All right. For 2021, as most would have shared, was a year where we had a lot of lessons, and it definitely tests our resilience. And what I can say, I'm confident going into 2022 that we will go ahead better armed, better equipped, better prepared, and also for us not to drop any guards. I know for the government, they would have the guidelines. They stay true to the guidelines on resort. We maintain our platinum protocols of cleanliness, and that's something that has worked for us. And as it relates to preempting any limitations or hesitations for our guests, we want to stay ahead of those to make it as easy as possible for our guests to ensure that their vacation experience is not hampered by COVID-related stresses or, hampers. So we want to ensure that everything goes as smooth as possible, and that includes, testing on resort for our guests, and ensure that everything is as the standard to ensure that everything flows for our dear guests. And as a people, we just need to remain focused. And, as we said earlier, we're resilient. So we just need to stay true to that as well. And, be confident and be optimistic, because this will all end. And I'm sure we're going to walk out even better. Have done renovations or took the time to better prepare for their future. And I know it's a bright future for us in 2022.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Shakima.
2021 certainly taught us to be prepared for any and everything. And I think that's something that has now become a way of life and a way of thinking for everyone, and that it's definitely going to continue into 2022. We've learned that we need to be able to go with the waves of whatever that is. I am personally feeling very optimistic and very positive about 2022 based on the trends that I'm seeing and the types of inquiries for destination experiences, weddings, and events. And just hope as a nation that we can be thoughtful and considerate of each other and our actions, and just be aware and conscious that the things that we do will affect each other, both personally and professionally, so that we can all look forward to an amazing 2022 together.
Nicely said. Aisha.
My wish would be that we would be smart and continue to ourselves so that we can keep the momentum going. Things starting to pick back up. We want to gather because it is our human nature, but we're smart about it. So, yeah.
Okay, Angeli.
So for me, 2020 was the year of shock, because we had a shock of this new thing that came in and just took over the world and put the whole world on standstill. And then 2021 was a lot of loss for me. Just for the world, there was just a lot of loss. So it was. Jamaica started out as an example of with the way we handled COVID. We were in the top 10, we were in the top 5, we were really doing well. And then in 2021, we kind of followed through with the loss of lives, with the loss of the battle, because other countries then started to progress and we started to in areas. So I hope for a lot of reflection in 2022. I hope people will reflect on the 2 previous years and be less selfish and be considerate of others, because we have to balance lives and livelihoods, and the only way we can do that, you can't justify my livelihood with someone's life or my life with someone's livelihood. We just can't. So we just have to work together to absolutely try to just balance lives and livelihoods, mental health, wellness, togetherness, as well as separation, being apart, being together. We have to just reflect on how we are going to do that successfully as individuals, as families, and as a nation.
I think so. So, patience and delivery, flexibility, resilience. I think, to end our Rock Fab living, we're going to go back to the beginning and, spoil you all with a taste of Rock Fab living. So back into the kitchen with Angeli. We're going to go back with Aisha, Shakima, Ryan, Guy, and end with Max. So phase 3, guys, we're going to go back into the kitchen with Angeli. We're all ending on a nice, fuzzy, warm, positive note.
Hi, this is Angeli, and welcome to my latest kitchen design. Come on in. Got to be one of my absolute favorite kitchens that I've done, and I've actually realized that I really and truly love kitchens. It's probably because I'm a cook myself and I use my kitchen so much that I'm able to appreciate the beauty and efficiency of a really good kitchen. So these clients actually entertain quite a bit, and they love to host in the space. There's a lot of family and friends who gather in their home and gather in the kitchen, and so I had to create a space that was just perfect for that reason. So with the holidays approaching, Thanksgiving for them, Christmas, New Year's, and just all year round, always celebrating life and love, we created this beautiful, beautiful space. So the first thing that you must remember when creating a kitchen is to try to maintain a very functional and practical work triangle. So the space between the sink, the refrigerator, and the stove need to be very efficient and allow for you to properly flow within the kitchen. So if you have a beautiful kitchen space like this, it's not only functional, but it's very practical for you to also entertain in it. You have beautiful cabinet space, counter space, you have a wonderful island that you can incorporate for the service, for serving food, for serving people, for even chucking the kids in here so that they can eat while the adults are at the table. But the beauty about it is that it is practical, it is functional, and most importantly, it is impeccably stylish. And welcome to the dining room. So this beautiful dining room I created simply because we had a love of black and white. And so style was very important for this client who entertains a lot. And she had this beautiful set existing that was only able to seat 6 persons because the table was so small. So I was able to expand the table to incorporate all 8 of her chairs in this wonderful space so that there's a place for everyone at the table. The black and white stripe that you see here is actually the start of the entire design process. We wanted beautiful black and white striped chairs, and so that dictated what you see everywhere in this dining room, but also how we decorated the kitchen. And it's been such a beautiful complementary cohesion of just textures and the beautiful classic black and white patterns, and I love, love, love this space. But the great thing is that you can actually plate in the kitchen and you just come across and serve in the dining room. Even if you wanted to have a service where people can serve themselves, this dining room actually still allows for that, because there's this beautiful sideboard that's here that persons can serve themselves. You could probably use it as a bar, and if you actually, just for entertaining purposes, you have enough space like under a window that you could actually set up an additional space for persons to serve themselves with like a buffet service. So in entertaining, you have to just think about how this space is going to serve you, how it's going to serve your family, how it's going to serve your friends. And as practical and functional as the spaces should be, we feel that they should absolutely be 100% equally beautiful.
I'm Aisha Panton, owner of Puss Bat Foot. We're an event boutique in Kingston, Jamaica. We're in the business of creating magic. We're in the business of cultivating joy and just transforming spaces, and by that, hopefully your lives. It was my absolute honor and pleasure to be asked to create a setting for you to give you inspiration for the holiday season. We're also going to be doing a wreath, so you'll have something beautiful for your table and also something beautiful to hang on your door. This is a piece of my heart. It was my absolute pleasure to create this setting for you. It was an honor, and I really hope that you've been inspired, not just by the beauty, but also by just the elements that we've used here, which literally represent the glorious beauty of Jamaica. As you can see, there's coconuts we've used monstera, we've used fan pans, we've used so many things that are readily available to you slow down, open your eyes, and see all the beauty that surrounds us. And what I'm really praying for is that you will take all of that beauty and put it on your table this Christmas season. Thank you so much.
Jamaica is a complete destination. Part of my job is to create a unique experience. Something that is authentic, something that they may have never done before, seen before, or heard before. My name is Shakima Hines from the beautiful island of Jamaica. One of the things that I'm always keen to do is research, so I can understand a little bit about their previous travels, their previous experiences, and their personality. It's important for me to understand their likes and dislikes. I try to offer them experiences they may not have experienced anywhere. What everyone wants now as a traveler is something that they can share with their friends. Something that makes them feel like they're a part of the experience. That has been all over the world, both for professional purposes and vacation purposes, and they said, I've never been horseback riding before. Celebrities, persons eager to get out are looking for a true, authentic and luxurious experience where they can be one with the culture, the food and the environment. There's so many questions, and no matter your demographic, Jamaica has something to offer for everybody.
As long as there is music, we still don't wanna try. As long as there is music, we still don't wanna try. As long as there is music, we still don't wanna try. As long as there is music.
You and your glance make this romance too hot to handle. Stars in the night, blazing their light, can't hold a candle to your razzle dazzle. You got me flying high and wide on the magic carpet ride, full of butterflies inside. Just when I think I'm free as a dove, oh, the moon deep in your eyes blinds me with
moving on, I'm moving on. I know it's time, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. Moving on, I'm moving on. Take some time, but I'll be alright.
And alas, all good things must come to an end, or at least until December the 14th, when you will come back for Rock Fab Living Part 3. Thank you very much to Sajiko and Nestle for your support. And of course, thank you very much to our amazing panelists, Angeli Martin Spencer, Principal, Angeli Spencer Home, Ash, Aisha Panton, Principal, Puss Backfoot. Shakima Hines, Managing Director, Shakima Hines Events and Concierge Limited, Ryan Green, Butler Manager at Sandals South Coast, Guy Stewart III, Chairman, Half Moon Resort, Max Patchen, Director of Operations, Island Routes. And I'd just like to leave you with one thought and one question until we reconvene. From our friends in London, you are all looking fabulous, and considering the challenges, I am truly impressed that you have found a way to thrive. I think that's what we do best in Jamaica, find a way to thrive, and we certainly have done just that. Rock Fab Living Part 2. And for our next set of panelists, a question that we're going to mull over from Marvin Hall. How would you create Jamaica outside of Jamaica? And is that something that could be franchised? For any of the panelists, he's asking. And I would throw that to Max and Guy, but then that's for another time. Unless Max or Guy wants to, either of the two would like to throw a response to that. How would you create Jamaica outside of Jamaica? And is that something that could be franchised?
Well, you certainly can attract people to come see Jamaica. Whether you can create it outside Jamaica, I'm not sure it's worth the effort, because I've only got one heart, and that's a big enough heart for Half Moon.
Oh, you see, that's why we love you, Guy. Max?
There's only one Jamaica. It's right here. You can try to recreate the best, but if you want the best, you have to come here and experience it for yourself.
I couldn't agree with you more. So on behalf of the Jamaica Observer, where every day matters, and we get it every single day, and of course to Sajiko and Nestle, and to our amazing panelists. And you see, Marvin, Jamaica can't be recreated. There's only one Jamaica here. Take care. Bye.
Under pressure. Kerry, you know stress causes all kinds of health problems.
Oh, Shani.
Yes, and I'm concerned about your physical, your mental, and your financial wellness.
Right now, work is so much stress.
And stress can contribute to high blood pressure, to anxiety, to depression. You need to take regular breaks. You can check out the Sagicor Wellness Hub at sagicor.com for all tips on wellness. Do it for you.